So the little guys are about to take the main stage to try to earn their rightful place in the NCAA tournament with their auto burst. So let's go through another 4-pack of leagues, shall we, and get our picks on the board. Let's start off in the artist formerly known as the Colonial Athletic Conference. It's now called the Coastal Athletic Association, the CAA for short. And PJ, you are going for the favorite, though you can still get that favorite at pretty significant plus money.
You can. I'm going with the Seahawks of UNC Wilmington. So again, Brad, this is one of those conference tournaments where the team who is the favorite is not the number one seed. That's UNC Wilmington. They're by far the highest rated team amongst all the CAA teams. Look, I love my Towson Tigers. Obviously, I'm a Baltimore sports fan, so, I keep an eye on what Towson's doing. Pat Scary's been there a long time. They're a good defensive team. They've had an incredible year. But I think UNC Wilmington's the best team in this league. They're likely going to get matched up with Charleston in the 2-3 game in the semis. They swept the regular season meetings against them. They lost to Towson in overtime in their only meeting between the schools. And they're just a really good offensive team. They rank top 80 in Ken Pom in scoring the basketball. So Wilmington's the best team in the league, Brad. Some funny stuff tends to happen at the CAA tournament sometimes. Yeah. And, this certainly could be another one of those years where it could. But I'm going to ride with the favorite. I think the Seahawks are the best team. I like getting them at the plus 190, and I think they're going to advance out of that conference.
All right, let's kick in a little Digital Underground in the background. Let's get stupid. I'm doing the Humpty Hump on Hampton at a plus 3,000. And I know this is extended the Go-Go Gadget arm a little bit. Probably going to rip it out of socket. But again, I'm a numbers nerd. And you look at Puerto Rico last month, no team in the CAA is playing at a more efficient level than Hampton. They're number 99, as a matter of fact, according to Torvik overall during that stretch. It's number 1 in the conference on 148 in EFG offense, but number 40 in EFG defense. Eliminate opponents is just 25.5% from outside. They've been outstanding on defense. They're also outstanding on the glass, top 51 in the country in offensive rebounding and defensive rebounding over that 30-day stretch. So Wilmington is team numero dos, according to the advanced analytics, but I'll ride the hot hand with Hampton, baby, at 30-1 to cut down the nets in the CAA and represent in that league. All right, let's go to one of my favorite conferences. Arch Madness, a must-see event every year on television there in St. Louis, the Missouri Valley. Some fantastic basketball played right here in the backyard, like right up the road. Illinois State's part of the Missouri Valley. It's only like 40 minutes from Casa de Evans. And you got a representative from Peoria who I might also be backing as well. Who is that?
Love the Bradley Braves, Brad. I think that's the team that's going to advance out of the Missouri Valley. Drake's obviously the team to beat. They've had an unbelievable year. For a while there, some people thought that maybe Drake could be one of those mid-major teams that could get an auto bid. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, though. They're going to have to win Arch Madness, but these games are always great. They're always played at the Enterprise Center, home of the Blues. They always get great crowds, and to me, Brad, that is really the start of Champ Week because CBS Sunday final, Kevin Harlan's on the call, and it's just that's college basketball at its best. And I'm expecting Drake and Bradley. I think Northern Iowa is going to give Bradley a hell of a game in the semis. That'll be a tough one to get through. But for me, it's all about the pricing. If Bradley gets past Northern Iowa, they're not going to be plus 320 on the money line against Drake, and I think they're going to win that game. So from a price standpoint, I think it's a great buy. Again, it's high because Northern Iowa is going to be a tough game if that's who they end up getting in the semis. But I'll take Bradley, Brad, plus 320. I think they're going to beat Drake, and I think they're going to go to the tournament.
All right, I concur with you, Captain, on that sentiment, my friend. You look at what Bradley has done offensively last 30 days, 22 in the nation in EFG offense. They're shooting at a ridiculous 43.7% clip from beyond the arc. That is just nuts. Very good defensive rebounding team, so limit teams, a lot of one-and-done situations. They split with Drake and Northern Iowa in the regular season, so they're not going to be intimidated by the matchup. And they got a guy named Duke Dean Remember thy name. Leads a team in three-point shooting. He's drained 92 triples this year. Yeah, I think Bradley bucks up and makes the dance as well. Speaking of the Buck, let's go to the conference Bucknell is in, and that is a Patriot, and that's your pick, and it's my pick as well. Why?
Because 3 of their 5 conference losses have come in overtime, so they very easily could only have like 2 losses in conference play. They got a big-time scorer in Williamson. He's really good. They're the team to beat. Again, for me, it's a lot like UNC Wilmington. I just think the gap between Bucknell and the rest of these schools in the Patriot League is pretty wide. And keep in mind, Brad, we talked about this with the ASUN yesterday, why Lipscomb was such a big favorite. All those games are played on campus. Patriot League's the same way, right? So for somebody to beat Bucknell, they got to do it in their gym. I think that's a massive advantage for a team to go in there and try and beat them. So we'll ride with the Bison to get it done. The fighting Mike Muscala's at plus 110.
Yeah, I think they're going to trample the competition. You mentioned the gap between them and like the other seeds in this conference tournament. The number 2 team, according to Torvik, is at 237 overall over the last 30 days. Whereas Bucknell at number 109. That's a pretty wide division between the two. You mentioned Noah Williamson, the 7-footer. He's a big reason why they're number 7 in the country in defensive rebounding percentage for the last 30 days. They won 8 of their last 9 games. They're number 1 in the country, folks, in effective field goal percentage offense over that 30-day stretch because they're netting 61.3% from 2. That's dynamite. And 41.8% from 3, equally spectacular. So given the offense, given their rebounding prowess, and the fact, too, they're just beating up on everybody in league play, I think they're going to cruise. So I think it's a gift from the gambling gods that Bucknell, fear the Buck, are plus 110 to take that conference tournament.